Hi, I'm Danica Tormolin, VP of Content for Trade Show News Network and Corporate Event News. And I'm going to do an IMEX America preview today with Carina Bauer. And I am so excited I get to attend the event again this year. I was there last year and the previous year. And so we just wanted to get a quick preview about the event. So welcome, Carina.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, the event is coming up. It's October 17th through the 19th at Mandalay Bay. It's been at Mandalay Bay now has it always been at Mandalay Bay? 2 years.
No, we started off at the Sands, the Venetian, 2011 through to 2019. Obviously, we had a little break in 2020, and then we moved to Mandalay Bay in 21.
Okay, for people who maybe haven't gone before, tell us a little bit about who attends. I saw there are 4,300 global decision makers that typically attend. So give us a flavor of who those people are and maybe some of the names that people might recognize.
Yeah, so from the decision makers who are coming as either hosted buyers or as regular attendees, they are mostly event organizers of some description. So what's unique about IMEX America is that we're really bringing the global business events community together. And by that, on the one hand, we have people from all over the world, including North America, but also they're representing every sector of what business events is. So from incentive travel through to corporate event planners, marketing agencies, venue finding agencies, and association meeting planners, exhibition organizers, every type of business event that you can think of is represented by those decision makers who are there. And our exhibitors are destinations, countries, cities, convention centers, hotel groups, and then the entire supply chain really for the business event sector, through from transportation, cruise lines, right through to production companies and technology. So really we're servicing the full spectrum of the global business events sector.
So hence why so many decision makers, and it does reach our audiences of Trade Show News Network and Corporate Event News, because those are some of the people. It hits every vertical within the industry.
Yes, that's right. And we have the number of exhibition organizers who come to the show is obviously not the main segment, but we do have a good number who come because, of course, coming to the show, they're able to meet the destinations, the CVBs, the convention centers, all in one place, as well as the supply chain. So there's a lot of crossover. So for Frankfurt in particular, we worked with the AEO and they brought a VIP group to the show for the second year. And that was really successful. And especially at this point in time when a lot of organizers are doing launch shows and looking to maybe geoclone their shows in different locations, it was a very efficient way for them to do that sort of initial research and have those initial conversations.
That's a great tip for some of the show organizers who might be listening if they're wanting to put out some feelers about geo-cloning their event in some different locations. And I did see you have 3,300 exhibitors from 180 plus countries. So in some of the ones that you named there, venues, destinations, any new exhibitors that you can think of off the top of your head?
I would say this year we will have quite a lot more than that. So we'll see what our figures are in a month's time because everybody's registering. We've had growth really from all over the world in terms of the exhibitors who are expanding their presence. So that's happening across North America. So we already have all the first and second tier cities in North America. Many of them are taking increased presence. But this year we've also seen a real growth globally. So most of the European destinations were already represented. We've seen growth from Europe, but Asia has seen real growth. So destinations like Vietnam are coming into the show for the first time. We're seeing growth from right across that region. Obviously, they were a little bit slower to come out of the pandemic. But now what we're seeing is destinations like Vietnam, for example, are coming in for the first time ever. So I think it's interesting because the North American market, which is what they get exposed to when they come to IMEX America is actually quite new for some of those destinations. So yeah, so we're seeing growth from all over the world, really. And interestingly, as I said, there is still growth in North America. So it will also be the biggest ever presence from North American destinations and hotel groups and convention centers. So all parts of the show have grown. And we really see it as a reflection of our marketplace, which is, of course, really rebounding strongly now.
Yeah, exactly. The business travel statistics and the pent up demand. 2023 has sounded like the year attendance has soared, right? So, and international, I can understand why. I mean, when I look at the international stats that are out there about US that are going abroad, they're saying it's going to be setting records this fall.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I use the word rebound. I don't even think that's the right word. I think last year was a rebound. This is really the industry going beyond pre-pandemic levels, which is really exciting to see. But yeah, we have loads of new exhibitors.
Great. I saw there are 150 education sessions over the 4 days, and I'll share a link to everybody with some education highlights. But is there a speaker or two that you want to highlight, or something that you're really looking forward to in terms of the education?
Yeah, so I am really excited about the education sessions this year. We always have some great keynote speakers through our partnership with MPI. They happen on the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the show. But we've also redesigned the whole education area to make it much more cohesive. And one of the things that I am really looking forward to, for the first time at IMEX America, we have a partnership with Google, and they have an area on the Inspiration Hub called the XI Co-Laboratory. They actually experimented with this in Frankfurt, and we're bringing it in an even bigger and more integrated way into the education program for IMEX America. And they cover everything from neurodiversity to storytelling to really how you create belonging and trusted events. And they're also creating a quiet space, which is designed with neurodiversity in mind. So I'm really excited about that. And I would really encourage people to go and have a look at those sessions in particular. Last year as well, we worked with Encore, who had, I don't know if you saw it, but it was a really spectacular activation. And what they did was take our sustainability story and metrics and really weave that into this fantastic activation, and really showed how experience and design can activate that storytelling. So this year they are also more integrated into our Inspiration Hub area. So we're really excited about that. I'll be doing a few sessions. So some of the IMEX team are also doing sessions. So we have sessions on the show floor about our rebrand and how we did that in-house, sessions about how we've redone our entire tech stack. And one of the other things I would encourage people to do, we've got these it's like a talk show program every morning, 1.5 hours, but they're in like 6 to 8 minute segments. And it's called Event Profs Unplugged. We'll have hosts and then interviews with like different event profs. So you can dip in and out of that and it's all programmed, so you can decide which bit you want to go into. So yeah, so we just got some great sessions, got filmmaker sessions. So you can go watch a film and then speak to the filmmaker. Similarly with authors, we've got an area where you meet the authors, so you can go and not just get book signing, but talk to them about their book. So yeah, it's some really interesting formats, some quick fire, more in-depth workshop type sessions. And what I would say is, for those who haven't been before, if you really love your content and want deeper dive, come in on the Monday for Smart Monday. Those are the deeper dive sessions. So we have an afternoon for corporate event planners, for example, called Corporate Focus. We do an afternoon around sort of travel trends and innovation with Skift. For association planners, there's an association leadership forum. So these kind of deep dive workshops are all on the Monday, and then the quick fire show floor education obviously takes place right throughout the show. But yeah, I would really recommend the Monday. And we also have some great tours taking place. So on the Monday, that's our time. We can take people out to the desert to see the solar array that MGM have, and give them, on the way out there, we talk to them about sustainability and how we work with MGM in Las Vegas to make the show sustainable sustainable. And then we also have fun tours to Area 15 and back of house tours. Yeah, I just really encourage people to explore all of that stuff.
Yeah, so much to see and do. That's why I just wanted to give people a flavor of what there is. And thank you so much. I love the Google Collaboratory too. I saw that and we reported on, I know Megan Henshaw has been doing a lot with that. And so super interesting that you're collaborating with them to let them do that there. That's great. And I love what you said. I was going to ask you a tip for a first timer, but coming in on Sunday so you can attend the Monday or first thing Monday morning to be able, because I'm doing that for the first time this year as well.
Okay.
I'm coming in over the weekend and so that I can attend some of those events on Monday.
Yeah. I think it's a really good way, especially if you're a first timer, A, to get your bearings a bit, B, to get extra value out of the experience and the show, but also to meet people in the kind of conference, smaller environment. And I think that's a really nice way to ease into the show, get some great content, do some good networking. But the other thing I'd say for first timers is that for the first time we have actually a web page. Go onto the public part of the website. There's a web page all for first timers. We're going to be doing some webinars pre-show just for first timers. We'll also have some tours for first timers on the Tuesday morning. Again, just helping people navigate the show, get your bearings. So I really would encourage people to do that. And our team will be there to really support them and help them make the most of their experience. And the final thing I'd say is just spend a little bit of time planning your meetings and planning your content and getting it all into the IMEX schedule, because that's where you'll make the most of it. And we have a lot of different types of events going on, from sort of high octane energy networking events through to fitness sessions in the morning. People can craft their journey through the show, but that needs a bit of planning to do that.
Yeah. And that is all done on the app. Is that the best place to do that?
Yes, from this week, our exhibitors are able to upload all their events. So we regularly have about 200 exhibitor events that take place, everything from a raffle through to a dinner. And all our education sessions can be found, and things like MPI Foundation, Rendezvous, and Site Night, they're all on the website. From this week, people can log into the website, create their profiles, and start researching exhibitors. You can save your favorites and all the sessions. And you can add from this week education and events into your schedule. From next week, people will be able to make, or buyers, I should say, will be able to make meetings with exhibitors of their choice. Anytime from now, really, you can start that planning process.
That's good to know. I wanted to ask you one quick thing about the net zero. I know you guys have just recently put out a release about all of the things that you're doing. You really have taken the lead in the trade show industry on that. You've won awards for it. What are one or two things that you're most proud of, or that people, when they're attending, that they'll take note of that you do, or that you hope they take note of that you do in terms of sustainability?
Well, actually, that's interesting, because some of the most innovative and interesting and sometimes difficult things are the things that are invisible. For example, one of the things I am really proud of is our waste diversion rate, because we are a classified zero waste event, which means we're able to reuse or recycle over 90% of the waste from the show. And that all happens back of house after the show. And it's actually a manual sorting process of all of the waste. So that I always find extraordinary, and actually just seeing back of house and how they do that and how intense that work is quite an interesting thing to do, that I'd encourage people to do. One of the other things I'm really proud of, which is more visible, is actually the food and beverage, because people might not realize, but food and beverage has a massive impact on your sustainability as an event. So our team have looked at everything from the packaging that is utilized through to the amount of water that is used in creation of the F&B, and that's obviously particularly important when we're in the middle of the desert, and through to the options that we're serving, so red meat right through to plant-based, but also just things like using some of the burgers that you can get are a mix of meats which reduce the carbon footprint, reduces the water usage. So we've really worked hard with the chefs to do that. And on the menus, you can actually see the carbon footprint and which choices are more sustainable, say from a water perspective or from a miles perspective. So looking at locally sourced as far as possible in Vegas and things like that. So those are things that are more visible, and I hope it will help people to make better choices, essentially.
Oh, I'll have to take note of that when I'm there. And you're right. I know waste diversion is a huge issue and one of the ways that you can make a big impact. And I remember the packaging. I've noticed that in previous events on site and the recyclable materials and all of that. And it gives people that are attending ideas about things that they can do at their own event.
Yes, absolutely. And what we also do from a sustainability perspective is we publish on our website our sustainability reports from each show. So if people do want to get ideas, they're really welcome to download those and just copy some of the things that we've done, whether it's removal of single-use plastic or whether it's reuse of signs or the type of material we use for our signs or the type of material that we're using for our carpets. Now, all of those things, I would just say, please copy us. And all the information is there for people to take, and you show your own suppliers and what we're doing and ask them to do that as well, because the materials are now available. It's just sometimes knowing what to ask for.
Yeah, I will share links to that in my story in this preview about it so that people can have access to that. Okay, one last thing in terms of fun. We got to include all the fun that happens at IMEX. So
Yes.
maybe one or two things or one thing that you're really looking forward to. You've got some great parties at night. Everybody is welcome.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of events. So I would say there are a lot of exhibitor events that are fantastic. So I would definitely go through the exhibitor events listing and have a look at those. The top party really is MPI's Foundation Rendezvous at Dre's. And I would say to people, if you want to go to that, buy a ticket early, because it sold out last year, which was the first time it ever sold out, and the show is bigger this year. So I really would encourage people to do that. It's such a fun event and such a beautiful setting. Also, site night on a Monday night, if you're part of the site community, part of the incentive community, I'd really encourage people to go to that because it's also a fantastic event. Honestly, the other events I love are our early morning sports events. So it's hard to do both. We have the IMEX run on the Wednesday morning, and it is such a good atmosphere. It is early, but it's always such a buzz. People, I know you're a big runner, but it's a really great atmosphere, and people really love it. And you get to run down a little bit of the strip. So that's a really special event. And PCMA, for their foundation, they have a HIIT workout as well on one of the mornings. So yeah, I'd really encourage people. You can do both. You can be healthy and you can also party the night away. And I'd encourage both of those things.
That's a good point. And yes, I have run in your race a couple years ago. I was the first female to finish. I was so shocked when I got done. I was running with Claude Molinari from Visit Detroit, and he's fast. So I was trying to keep up with him.
Yeah. Congratulations.
It was quite fun. I was quite surprised as a seasoned runner. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And parts of it are pretty flat. There are some steps, but yeah, so I'd really encourage people, if you're into that, come down, join us for that.
Yeah. Okay. Before we jump off here, what are you predicting in terms of attendance and exhibitors? You're saying they're increasing over last year. Can you tell us where you're trending right now?
I can't really give solid figures right now because it's still very much coming in. We will have definitely over 3,500 exhibiting companies attending. And at the moment, I think we'll have in the region of 4,000 hosted buyers and probably at least another 500 to 600 buyers on top of that. It will absolutely be the biggest show for buyers and exhibitors this year, without a doubt.
Wow, that's incredible. Congratulations, Carina. I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to seeing you next month and really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, it was lovely to speak to you, Denise. Thank you.